Welcome to the Business Spotlight Series. My name is Steve Chiama. I'm the franchise owner of Action Coach in Fairfax, Virginia, and I'm your host today of the Business Spotlight podcast. Today, I have the pleasure to introduce Laura Evans Manatos, the CEO of Laura Evans Media, as my guest. And today, we're going to talk about Laura's business, her journey into business ownership, challenges, best practices, and share a peek into what it's really like to build and operate a business. So if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when a show like this drops. Laura, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. And if you would, please share a little bit about who you are and a little bit about your business.
Well, thank you, Steve. I really appreciate you inviting me to join you for this conversation. I really do enjoy listening to you. My name is Laura Evans Manatos, as you said, and I am the CEO and president of Laura Evans Media. This was a media company that was born out of a frustration with a long career in journalism. Not most of the career was frustrating, but toward the end, I just decided I was tired of talking about all the worst of the worst in our world and wanted to focus on the best of the best. How are we solving all of those problems that I was talking about as a journalist? So I left in 2017 and didn't know what I was going to do, and decided to put the skills that I have from my previous career, my previous life, into play here with storytelling and messaging and clarifying complex messages and, using my relationships to get the word out about these solution makers, about these social impact organizations that are doing such good in the world. So I now fast forward, work with a team of about 15 women who are also former journalists, and just a rock star team, and it's just a wonderful new recreation working with this group for Laura Evans Media.
Awesome. Let's start a little bit about structure of the business so we give people a little bit of context about what you're doing. A lot of people talk about solo ownership, being the sole owner. Some people talk about business partners, others talk about investors, and what have you. There's a variety of different approaches here. What's the approach you've taken on this?
Well, I started as a solopreneur, and
Mm-hmm.
I have built the plane as I've flown it. No intention, no, going out and getting investors. It was, let me use my relationships, let me tell stories. It was really scrappy in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And slowly things have, there was really no plan other than you have a story, you're doing good, let me help you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but as I progressed and as I, pitched stories to reporters, to my friends, to people who I knew in the business, they were so taken by what I was doing that they wanted to join me too. So it's slowly grown over the past 9 years of doing this, from a solopreneur to a
Mm-hmm.
larger group of women. And not by design do we have all women. It's just
Mm-hmm.
how it's worked.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's a contractor. We don't have investors. We are, we invoice our client. I work probably, 40 to 60 hours a week. We have a leadership team that does more hours, but our pitch team could be working anywhere from 10 to 20 to sometimes 40 hours a week. It just depends on the story load that we have and the client load. So that's how we're structured.
Awesome. In that mindset, when you start up, you got to do all the hats. You got to wear all the hats. You got to go get the customers. You got to do the sale. You've got to do the work. You've got to do the accounting. You've got to do the HR if there's HR needs. You've got to do all these pieces. What hats do you wear at this point?
Oh, that's a good question. You're right, Steve. I did have to wear a lot of hats, but you don't know what you don't know, and
Mm-hmm.
what you don't know, you can Google. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so, yes, I was doing everything before. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I've become very good at delegating and, leaning on technologies that help me with invoicing,
Good.
doing things. There are certain things that I just enjoy doing. I I really leave it to my leadership team. I bring in people who are strong, who are really good,
Mm-hmm.
can teach me, and
Mm-hmm.
I leave it to our leadership team to take care of what they're doing best. So
Mm-hmm.
that's, kind of the structure, and the hats that I wear are where I want to be doing things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not hands-on everything. I
Mm-hmm.
want to give everybody else ownership too, because I think
Mm-hmm.
you give your, coworkers ownership, it makes them more invested in the company
Yeah,
and more passionate. They can put their ideas to work. So
got it.
I wear as many hats as I need to, and as many as I
Mm-hmm.
have to.
Very good. Very good. Let's go back to the business a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about who your clients are. You've mentioned a few. People like to use the word verticals. I kind of think in terms of sectors. Where are the places that you do most of your work? What kinds of people are you helping most of the time?
Well, we like to say if you're helping someone else, we'll help you.
Mm,
And you are the company you keep. The,
mm,
the clients we work with are social impact change makers, they're
mm-hmm,
disruptors. They are, like I said earlier, they're solution oriented
mm-hmm,
organizations and individuals.
mm-hmm,
If you are, making our world healthier, more connected, kinder, more equitable, and it's not all sugar and candy canes and unicorns
mm,
and rainbows, but if you are working on a solution, let's tell the whole story together. Let's
mm-hmm,
put that together, because there are so many great nonprofits and for-profits who are doing good things, who are busy doing the work, and they don't have time or the bandwidth to promote themselves, to get
mm-hmm,
that word out about the good
mm-hmm.
that they're doing. So that's where we come in. Those are the kinds
Okay.
of things we work with.
And what makes you unique? Why would it be you that they would call?
Well, I think for us, we're different than a traditional PR firm. We all came out of very successful careers in journalism. We left because we felt the news wasn't going in the right direction. We wanted flexibility for ourselves. Many of us are moms. We all work remotely, but we understand deadlines. We
Mm-hmm,
understand breaking news from our years and years of breaking news. So when a client calls with a short turnaround or a complex situation, we jump in, all hands on deck, and figure it out. And we're very efficient. We've partnered with traditional PR companies in the past. I do find, in my experience with them, that there's a formula that they follow, in my opinion, that is somewhat limiting. And I think from our experience in news, we understand, well, I know from our experience in news, we understand what a newsroom needs, what a newsroom wants, how to meet the audience where they are, how knowing what the audience wants. And then it's relationships. We have
mm-hmm,
so many relationships, globally. We have everybody on our team is, from local news to national to international and print, podcast, broadcast. Um, so people have relationships, and they're trusted relationships.
mm-hmm,
So I think that's really what makes us different. And I also like to think that the work environment that we've set up at LEM is incredibly supportive. There's no drama. We are doing things that we love, that we're passionate about. This is our second chapter, and I feel really good about the passion in the room when I'm with my team. They are so invested,
mm-hmm.
and I think that sets us apart.
Awesome. Awesome. What is one thing, and this kind of reaches out towards who do you want to hear of you more? What do you want them to hear about?
Well, I hope they're hearing about our success. I want them to
Mm-hmm,
hear about, we are
mm-hmm,
a hardworking team, very innovative and creative, uh,
mm-hmm,
and we come from a place of knowledge and understanding how media works. Now, media is changing a lot, so we are working to keep up with all of those changes. But PR is changing a lot too, and you have to be incredibly, the ability to pivot quickly and
mm-hmm,
is really important, because it's not just you get on the 5 o'clock news these days and you get your audience and that's it, like you're good. You have to have this kind of this symphony, this orchestra of
Yeah.
different strings going at the same time. And so that's, I hope people hear about the success that we're having with that. I will say, as while I'm promoting everybody else, I'm not as good as of promoting myself. I do, our team, we are working on that. I have others on my team who are constantly on me about that. But I think we're good about getting the word out in general.
I like the word you used, symphony of
Mhm.
things going on. I think that's a topic awful lot of people miss is
Mhm.
it's not a single shot at one thing. It's a whole bunch of different instruments that have to be played in harmony.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
and I think that's a topic an awful lot of people miss. So there's a real value in being able to go to one team that can see a variety of approaches to a promotional campaign.
Yeah, no, it's very important. And especially when you're talking about, PR, marketing, branding in this current landscape,
Hmm.
making sure that you are diversifying. I mean, just like, in the stock market, you want to diversify. You can't let one stone be unturned. Thought
Hmm.
leadership is everything. Being on, LinkedIn and Instagram and making sure that you are, your messaging is clear and you have your origin story, what people want
Hmm.
to, and consumers are different too, today.
Hmm.
Consumers want to hear about the backstory. They want to
Hmm.
connect, and connecting will help them engage more. And
Hmm.
trust is
Hmm.
everything. So having multiple different channels going at the same time, from, your social media to live events where you're speaking to, your own personal blogs to uh, obviously media, that all plays together, and it's critical, and we've seen
Hmm.
it time and time again. We have these case studies where, it's one person wants to do this is what they want to do. Look, at the end of the day, you're our client. We're going to tell you what our recommendation is, but this is what you want. We're in for you.
Hmm.
But we're going to give you the real story on
Hmm.
on how we think this is going to go based on our experience. But those who are open to doing lots of different things, who are really partnering with us, uh, they have great success.
Hmm. Very good. Very good. Let's change directions a little bit. You've told us a little bit about why you went into business. Let's expand a little bit. What was the trigger that said, yeah, I want to do this on my own?
Um, you
Because
know,
there are alternatives.
there are alternatives. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And the health insurance was real nice.
Ah.
But because I working for the local one of the local stations, I was local Fox affiliate was where I was, and I was with the union. It was really cushy, but the news just started to go in a direction that it didn't make me comfortable.
Hmm.
And I was anchoring the 5 o'clock news. I had done all the shows, and I was at Fox for 20 years. I just it became the same thing over and over again. And I don't know if it was me having kids and realizing, like, let's work on what's making our world better,
Hmm.
as opposed to, Kardashians, death and destruction and weather and see you later. Good night, everybody. I started to feel like, what am I contributing to the world? How am I helping my community? And I
Hmm.
really felt that I was at my best when I was emceeing an event, raising money for a good cause, helping an organization elevate awareness about what they're doing
Hmm.
and conveying that messaging. That's where I felt good. And what triggered it, to your question, was my management wanted to move me to an evening shift. I was anchoring the 5 o'clock news. I would go home after 6 o'clock, make the kids dinner. I have 3 children, make the kids dinner, be with my husband, and put the kids to bed. They wanted to shift me to evenings where I would come in at 3, anchor the 5, and then go out and report on the worst of the worst. and come home at midnight. Well, my kids were getting off the bus at 3 to come home, and that's when I would be going into work. And I said, I'm not going to do it.
Mm.
And I knew in my soul that was not right for me, but this was a dream job. I wanted to do this since I was in the seventh grade. I was not interested in doing anything else. And when I went to my general manager and I said, I'm not going to do it. And they tried to make concessions, you can shift this work in, but it wasn't working for me. And I told him this is not going to work for me. I'm going to have to leave. And he said, okay. And I was like, what?
Mm.
What? And that was it. But I needed that. I needed him to say, okay, like you go do your thing. And he said, if you ever want to come back, you can come back. So I left and did not know what I was going to do. My husband encouraged me, and I thank him profusely every day for this, to have coffees with everybody I know. I would come home, my hairs were
That's a
smelling.
good plan. Yeah.
Yeah, hair was smelling like coffee grounds. I would go meet with at least 3 people a day, sit down, talk. It was a moment for me to kind of be quiet, for me to understand through these conversations what mattered to me, what
Hmm.
mattered to other people. I
Hmm.
could hear from them their reflections on what I was doing, and it really helped shape where I was going next. And the light bulb went off when I realized through these conversations, I want to work on solutions. I don't want to talk about problems. Now, you've got to talk about problems in order to talk about the solutions, but I wanted to tell the whole story, not just shooting, at 6 o'clock down the street, see you later. Like, how are we as a community solving this? How
Hmm.
are we working to be better? And I want to inspire people
Hmm.
to feel better about their community, to understand the solutions that are going on in their community
Hmm.
too. So that was the shift for me, and it's a much better place for my soul, for my children, for my husband, and it's a good next chapter.
In this part of your adventure, what was one of the more memorable hurdles that you've had to take the business across?
Oh, I when there's a hurdle, I consult a friend or I Google it. And I have
Hmm.
lots of great friends with great experience and who are leaders. And, honestly, it's making sure that I want to make sure people are happy. And if
Hmm.
the client isn't happy, or there's a challenge, then it's working through that. That to me is the biggest hurdle because it kind of hurts my heart if things
Hmm.
are not going in the direction.
Hmm.
So that doesn't happen a lot, I will say. I'm very thankful for that. But where we have had, a couple of issues not on the same page, we've thankfully, been able to resolve things. But those are my biggest hurdles.
Yeah. Okay.
You can figure it out with technology. They can, we can do anything.
Google is amazing what you can find.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of power there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of thinking ahead, where are you going to take the business over the next 5 to 10 years? Where do you see it going?
I think my interest is going deeper into issue-focused storytelling. It's
Hmm.
not, I'm more about, what are we doing? How are we telling the stories of our clients and expanding that as opposed to, I want to bring 5 more people on the team. I mean, I
Hmm.
will say there are a couple of people that are pitch, really good at pitching, and I want to bring them on. They're a little bit too pricey for me right now.
Hmm.
That's my goal is to get them. But we have an amazing team, and we dig
Hmm.
in on stories, and I want to expand that a little bit more. I think um, working with more mission-driven organizations is something that I'd like to do. We continue to expand in that place, but I would like to stay on that path. Um, and building stronger platforms through thought
Hmm.
leadership, podcasts, opinion pieces, long form storytelling. So my
Hmm.
goals are really focused on what is happening with my clients and
Mm-hmm.
expanding their stories as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to, growing our business a little bit more. I'm
Mm-hmm.
really happy with where we are, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure that we're staying true to our social environment within the company,
Mm-hmm.
that we are, focused on the flexibility and saving space for ourselves as individuals. We didn't have a lot of that when we worked in news, and making sure that, we have the space for creativity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's focusing on the things that exist right now and expanding them a little bit more.
Very good. Very good. What are the main challenges you see going down that road as
Um,
you look ahead?
gosh. Uh
Where will you be searching on Google?
Okay, so I think in this, I just had this conversation with my team yesterday about, AI is everywhere, and how do we differentiate ourselves? How do we make sure that we are, and this is what I said to them, that we focus um, on the trust. We focus on the relationship. We focus on the things that we can do as humans. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we write a first draft of an op-ed using chat, but then we put our journalistic senses together, knowing what an audience needs. We
Mm-hmm.
understood that for decades, um, appealing to our audience, understanding what the goals are of the client so that we can meet them with those goals, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to, and do the human thing and feeling
Mm-hmm.
what is, the right newsroom to go to, the right tactic to take, what's going to resonate with an audience.
Mm-hmm.
How busy is a journalist right now, given the scope of news that we're covering right now, and what time of day do we need to hit them so that they will actually see the pitch? How do we hit them? Is it through LinkedIn? Is it through Twitter? So those are all that's the knowledge that we have in this business, to that, is well beyond what AI is capable of. So really leaning into the humanness, of what we do, and AI is there for a purpose. And we use it, work harder, not smarter, or work smarter, not harder. But that's really, really important to me.
All of this is terribly emotional. It's hard for me to conceive of AI touching the emotional response of people.
Hmm.
When I think ahead down some of these roads, yeah, very good, very good.
What you're saying that it's you're
Well,
sorry, Steve.
if you think about PR and attracting people and getting messages out, well, you're getting messages out for a reason. You're getting messages out to attract something.
Yeah, right.
Well, the concept of attract is an emotional event, not
Yes.
a. It's a physical event, but there's an emotion that has to drive it. Um, is AI going to do that?
That's a great point, Steve. And I think, we have to experiment, and see, I have had a couple of clients who've come, potential clients who've I've spoken with, and they just, either for whatever reason, they didn't have the budget, or, they're a good friend and I'm not going to charge them. But I have gone to AI and said, okay, put together a communication strategy for this, and I enter in a bunch of details. It's very cut and dry. It's hard to execute. Yeah, there are things like you can do a social media post on AI. You can, figure out connections on, like, a media list. But do you
Yeah.
have a direct line to them? Can you call can you text that person and
Yeah.
say, "Hey, I've got a good story." The journalists that we deal with know that we were in the business for a long time. They know that we know what a good story is. And so
Hmm.
they trust us. In fact,
Hmm.
they trust us so much, we often will put together a script for them. Like if we have a client on a show, this happens weekly. If we have a client on a show, we write the script for them. They have, right of first refusal, like they can mix it up. But I can't tell you, I would say, 9 out of 10 times they're using it word for word because they trust us. They know. And newsrooms are so, whether you broadcast, radio, print. Newsrooms are so limited right now.
Hmm.
We hear about it every day. They're cutting back, layoffs, people want to get out of the business. So we help them because we know what we're doing and they appreciate it.
Makes for a pool of candidates too, doesn't
Yeah, it does. It does. And
it?
we've seized on that. And
Yeah,
I
good.
think, just like I really loved the next chapter, I think those who have joined us recently are really enjoying this because you keep your little toe in it a little bit
Hmm.
and it's doing the same thing, but from
Hmm.
another a different angle.
From a different angle. Yeah,
Yeah. As a journalist, you're focusing on the work that's right in front of you, but this is focusing on the client and their story. And I think that, that's been one of the challenges for me in that transition, going back to one of your recent questions. But I think, this is something that we also love is because we can continue to do what we did best and put our skills to use, what we're passionate about and helping get messages out there that will resonate and that will inspire.
fantastic. If you were going to begin this journey today, knowing what you know now, is there anything you'd do different?
I would have gotten QuickBooks a little bit sooner. I probably would have.
Details.
I don't know that I would. I've enjoyed every minute of it, and the
Hmm.
mistakes make you better.
Hmm.
I've learned so much. And my COO, Jennifer Davis, she and I worked together at Fox 5. She was a freelancer, and there was a moment where, when both of us were still there, we were in the parking lot, and I had just, kind of come to terms with I needed to get out,
Hmm.
and she was feeling the same,
Hmm.
and we were friends. We weren't like best friends, and we just hugged each other in the parking lot, and we cried together.
Hmm. Yeah.
And it was a moment of, there is more for us. And
Hmm.
while we're so sad because this career was meant so much to us, we're happy to see a path of goodness in front of us that is different and
Hmm.
as rewarding. We had no intention of working together, but
Hmm.
when I had my first client, I pitched her because she was writing for WebMD, and I said, "Hey, Jenny, I've got this great story." And then she came over and we started talking about it, and she started helping me kind of, navigate and
Hmm.
strategize. And that relationship has grown so much. She now, when she invoices me every month, she sends me notes of gratitude. Like, here are the
Hmm.
things that I'm grateful for every month. And I send them back to her. And it's just, I think those things along the way, like I love how the structure has grown. I love what I've learned from, from the mistakes that we've made. And they're all learning experience. And I don't even want to
Hmm.
call them mistakes. It's a moment of learning and reflecting and staying open.
Good
So
way to talk to explain it. Yeah.
I would change. I don't know what I would change, to be honest. And that sounds kind of sugar-coated, but it's the honest answer.
You have to learn the things you have to learn in order to get to the places you want to get to. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you don't learn from magic.
No, you don't. You don't. It's experience. You're right.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Very good. Very good. This is awesome. In the interest of time, let's start heading towards wrapping up. Let's hit a few rapid fire questions just to see where they take us. This will be
Mhm.
interesting. What would you say has been your key to success?
I think my key to success has been curiosity
Mm,
as a journalist, but trust and relationships.
okay.
Yeah, keeping it rapid fire and quick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you and I were having coffee at the coffee shop, and I can think of a couple of good ones, um, and somebody walked in talking about the business they were getting ready to start up, what's one piece of advice you would share with that person?
Focus on what you can do, what
Mm,
what only you can do, and
hmm.
leave the other things to your leadership team to others who are smarter than you in some regard. Bring them in as an advisor, as a partner,
Hmm.
but focus on what you do well.
Good, good, good. What's a book you're reading now or have read recently that's had impact on how you drive your business?
I am reading The Mountain is You, and
Mm,
it teaches you about the obstacles in life that are actually internal.
mm,
By doing the inner work, addressing emotional, mental, behavioral patterns, that you
hmm
achieve self-mastery. And I think that's
hmm
really helped me as a leader, through my personal growth and unlocking potential.
hmm Good, 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 good. You've had a great journey. You've
I
learned a
have
lot. You've had a lot of fun. What in this journey are you most proud of?
building a team of respect, of
Okay.
flexibility, having a space that I run and that I own. And
Hmm
same with everyone on my team, that they've
hmm
built a space that they own and they run. And,
hmm
um, you know, being able to have that flexibility.
Awesome, awesome. Following up and just kind of flipping the script a little bit, if you had a magic wand and there was one thing you could improve in your business today, what would that be?
I think I've worked on improving it so far, and I've done a good job, but it would be predictability of time.
Mm,
Coming out of a newsroom where you're owned and when news breaks you go in, we've built a flexible space where to have some predictability, but
mm,
news breaks, we have a story with a client and we need to get that out because now the irons are hot and it's time
hmm
to pounce. um, but that's life. That's life.
hmm
So,
hmm
running a business, having a family, predictability of time sure would be nice. Not always the way it goes, but
As when do the kids get sick?
yeah, right, exactly. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, most important question, people who want to get to know more and get in contact with you, what's the best ways that they can get in contact with you?
Well, you can learn about us on our website, lauraevansmedia.com, EVANS. And it is, we're on Instagram, Laura Evans Media. We're on Facebook, although I don't post that much on Facebook, but LinkedIn. I would say Instagram and LinkedIn are our two most widely used. And yeah, but our website has lots of information about what we do.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. Last question. What's most inspiring to you today?
Our clients. Our clients are doing such great things in the world, working on the solutions to those complex problems I mentioned. And, every one of our clients inspires me every day, the work that they do. And it's a joy to wake up and to help them elevate their message.
Fantastic. Fantastic. This has been a lot of fun. And you've shared some really important points that anybody in a business or starting a business needs to be paying attention to. And I guess one of them really is, why are you there?
Hmm.
What are you really there for? And I think that's a really important paradigm that people have to, yeah, okay, to make money, but money's only part of the game. It's
Money's secondary. You're
Yeah,
right.
it really is. Why are you here? Who are you helping and how are you helping them?
Yeah.
That's the real reason. Yeah, that's really great. And so
Yeah.
thank you for being authentic and thank you for sharing that. That's been awesome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I want to encourage everybody watching, save the show and come back, pick up what Laura was sharing with us. That's really great. Don't forget to like and subscribe to get more shows like this. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. A special thank you to Laura for, like I said, being authentic, being vulnerable, and sharing her story the way she shared it. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. It's been an honor to be with you today. Thank you.